Hey guys, so today I wanted to do a quick review, mini reviews of just a conglomerate of things that I've tried over the past month or month and a half. There's quite a lot of stuff that I've been able to test out recently, so I really just want to dive in and get started because there's a lot here, but it's good stuff, I promise. So first thing I want to talk about, I got from Valentino. This is the cutest box ever. They do PR packages so adorably. But they sent over one of their Rosa Valentino matte lip colors, and it's like the refillable version. Now I've tried their satin lip color and I love it. It's a great formula, wears really well. This one is more of a nude shade, and it's matte instead of the satin, which I really love. I mean, just look at Valentino does packaging beautifully. It's beautiful packaging, and it's kind of nice too because this comes out so you can just get the refillable bullet component, and you can get any color you want. You don't have to stick with the same one. But I really do like the shade. It's a really beautiful pink nude. Goes great with everything. I really love the matte formula. Obviously, this is a luxury brand, so you're going to be paying a pretty penny for it. But if you're the type of person that loves luxury beauty, this definitely is like a good option for you. I really love this color. I want to say it's over $50, between $50 and $55, but it really is good. I do like it. Now, this one surprised me a little bit. They also sent over one of their fragrances. This is the Valentino, I think this is the Born in Roma, correct? Oh, yeah, Valentino Donna Born in Roma. It's the more feminine scent, the female scent. When I first smell this, it's definitely a very floral scent, and I am not the biggest floral person, but I did like this because of the way it really melts into the skin, and that undertone, that base note is one of my favorites. It turns from very sweet and floral to something a little bit more deeper, a little bit warmer, and very vanilla. And honestly, once it sits on your skin, you still smell that vanilla, but it almost smells like a bourbon or something underneath it as well. Really beautiful, a really nice complex scent. I am not the type of person to like florals, but surprisingly, I do really like this, especially once it's sat on your skin and warmed up with your skin. It really turns into a scent that I really enjoy. So next is these Lux Tan Tonic Drops I got from Saint Tropez, and I have been mixing these with lotion. It's kind of nice. It helps me use up all of the lotion that I have left, or the half-used lotions in my collection. So I was mixing this stuff in. This is a very I don't want to say an oil consistency, but I guess more serum-y. It's kind of thick. Don't know how well you can see it. Definitely more of a serum-y consistency. It does work really well with lotion, but I would not purchase this if you're the type of person who buys self-tanner to become extremely dark or a totally different shade of skin. It's not going to do that. It's a very subtle glow, which honestly sometimes I just prefer that. I just want something that's a little bit more radiant, healthy looking. I don't necessarily want 8 shades darker. So this is definitely one of those products if you want something more subtle. But if you're the person that really likes being ultra dark, the total polar opposite end of the spectrum than what you are now, skip it. It's gonna be a waste of money for you. Murad sent over these 2 skincare products. Really liking both of these. I actually just did a reels on these products, so they are up on my Instagram if you want to check them out. This is the Replenishing Multi-Acid Peel. It kind of has this like biphase aspect to it where it's like a separated oil from the water-based liquid. This stuff is so nice. It's an AHA BHA exfoliator, so you've got those acids that do wonders for your skin, but they have this like oil that's, you know, once you shake it up, it all kind of mixes together, and having that oil on your skin just kind of gives your skin an extra immediate glow, and it makes it really, really comfortable to keep on your skin. It's not something you would like rinse off. Really liking it. My skin isn't very sensitive, and I did not notice any sensitivity with this, but because it is an acid, it is an exfoliant, highly recommend pairing it with sunscreen. It's something you should be wearing every day regardless. But they sent over the Correct and Protect Serum, broad spectrum SPF 45 mineral sunscreen. This stuff's phenomenal. Like, mineral sunscreens have come such a long way. Packaging is kind of cute. I like the dropper form. This is a very hydrating, very moisturizing mineral sunscreen, and I don't normally find that with mineral sunscreens. A lot of mineral sunscreens for me are very chalky, almost dry, and they have a very prominent white cast even on my skin, and I'm pretty fair. So if it's getting a white cast on me, anyone darker than me is going to have an issue with this. Doesn't really cause a white cast on me. Again, I cannot speak to someone who is of a darker skin tone, who is of a totally different ethnicity from me, so I can't give my opinion on that. Like, yes, this would be good for much darker skin, because I don't know. I don't have darker skin, and I don't have anyone that I know has tried this who has darker skin. But if this seems like something you'd be interested in, I do recommend it. It is PA+++++, so it's really good protection for both UVA and UVB rays. And I just really like how moisturizing it is. It really does feel like a good moisturizer on your skin, which is a key for me. What I got to try out is a new release from Kaja. It's 2 new Beauty Bento trios. They kind of changed the Bento formula a little bit. So they came out with 2 new trio shades. One is Mauve Bouquet, and then one is Peach Madeleine. These are so fun. I really love these formulas. So this is the Mauve. So that's the first one. Really pretty, super easy formula. I love this like super chrome color, gorgeous. The matte is buttery. The sparkly shimmer is sheer on the eyes, but super impactful because of that like super sparkle glitter aspect to it. And same with the Peach Madeleine one. I actually had the Peach Madeleine one on earlier today. Love this. I think it's so beautiful. The sparkle shade, this middle shade, like threw me for a loop. I was so surprised at how much I love it. And again, nice buttery matte formula. Really like both of these a lot. Really liking the new formula, so I'm wondering if they're going to change like all of their trios to be this formula, or if just like from here on out they're gonna have the new formula with whatever new like shades they create. So I have my thoughts on this huge PR package I received. I don't want to say it's a huge PR package. It's not a huge PR package, but it is a whole like face base line that I like a lot more than I would expect. So I got this little PR kit from Giorgio Armani, and first off, I wasn't expecting it, so I was super excited. Let me remove my card. This is the Luminous Silk line. So you have the Luminous Silk primer, the Luminous Silk concealer, Luminous Silk foundation, the fluid sheer, and then the Luminous Silk glow setting powder. First off, let me say, so many people have tried the Luminous Silk foundation. It is a holy grail. I've had this before. I've always really liked it. And I'll say it again, it's definitely more of like a satin foundation. I would not say that this is like a luminous foundation in the way that like the Kosas foundation is. This one, like the oil-based one. Let me pull it up real quick. This guy, the Tinted Face Oil. This is luminous. It's an oil, so yeah, it's going to be luminous. This is not luminous in the way like the Kosas Tinted Face Oil is. It's just luminous that it looks like healthy. It looks like your skin. It's a very satin formula. I really like this because it's a very light coverage and can be built up to a medium coverage, which is definitely a coverage preference that I appreciate and I really, really enjoy. And I have the foundation in shade 3. That's been my shade for as long as I can remember, but they also sent the concealer. This one is in shade 2. Really love this concealer. I have it on underneath my eyes. I think it's a great match for the Luminous Silk foundation. Everything else, including the concealer, I've never tried before, minus the foundation. And I was so surprised at how much I loved this hydrating primer, the Luminous Silk hydrating primer. This is so comfortable on the skin. It feels silky, buttery soft, almost like a mix between like a very hydrating and pore filling primer mixed with like a priming oil. It's like the best of both worlds. It's so good. Do not knock this. Do not knock this. If you like any type of primer that is more on the hydrating side, you gotta try this. I don't even think I have anything in my collection that can compare to how this feels on my skin. It just, oh, it feels so good. Silky soft. Oh my God, I love it. That was like the one thing in this entire collection that just really stood out to me. I was so shocked at how much I loved it, but I do. I really, really love it. Next thing that I got to try was the Fluid Sheer. I have this in the shade 2. This is good. I would use this either like under foundation, mix it with your foundation. I use it over top of my foundation as like an actual like liquid highlighter, and it's very beautiful. It's sheer, but it still gives this beautiful radiant sheen to the skin. I mean, it just looks, it looks luxe. It looks expensive. It's stunning. It really is. Again, this was another thing in this collection that really threw me for a surprise. I really enjoy how much I like this, and I like it a lot. I think the only thing that I didn't really care about was the Luminous Silk Glow Setting Powder. This isn't bad in any way. I just don't really care for like a glowy powder or a glowy setting powder, but this wasn't over the top. It didn't cake in areas on my skin. It didn't look like shine underneath my eyes. So it really is nice. It's just not my preference for a powder. So this wouldn't be something that I would repurchase again, but I can appreciate having it in my collection, if that makes sense. So yeah, and this one is in the shade 3. I have all of these products on my face right now. If you're wondering what I'm wearing, so you can see that 3 is a pretty good match for me. I mean, it matches my neck and my chest almost like to a T. I think it's called their Fair Golden or their Fair Light Golden. It's very pale, but you know, I'm very pale, so it's not surprising. That primer, man, that is like the showstopper of that whole collection, in my opinion. I really, really love that primer. I have this sunscreen on my face right now as well. It's underneath all the Giorgio Armani face base products. Excuse me, my nose, tip of my nose itches so bad. This again is one of those mineral sunscreens that I just have to say, mineral sunscreen has come such a long way. I know I just said that, but between the one I got from Murad and this one that I tried, this is phenomenal. This is so good. I'm blown away at how good this is. You have a deep skin tone. I really do think this would work for you because this does not have any type of like white cast at all. I like the like dropper form. So this is what it looks like on me, and it's just kind of, it just disappears. It's really unique. I can't tell that there's a single like cast on my skin at all, and I really hope that's the case for people who are much deeper in skin for me, because I know so many of you love mineral sunscreens out there. I mean, you either love it or you hate it, and this is an amazing formula, and I think this is one of the best ones, so definitely check it out if you're interested. This is not thick at all. This is a pretty thin formula, and it dries down almost completely. It doesn't stay like sticky, tacky, or oily at all. I know there's so many out there that do stay like gritty, sticky, tacky, like all the textures you can think of. That's how a mineral sunscreen comes, rather than just moisturizing. This really feels moisturizing, and then it just like sets. Like, it's so good. It's so good. I am like really in love with this formula, and I am so happy to have this. Honestly, would think about repurchasing this once I use it up. I just got some more backups from Merit. They sent me more of their Minimalist Perfecting Complexion Stick. I have this one in the shade Cream. It's, you know, my perfect match. I love it. It's a really good foundation stick, even though it doesn't come with a ton of product. It's also great for just concealing and like spot correcting as well. And then they sent me one of their Flush Balm colors. This one I picked out is the shade Cheeky. It has their new packaging, which I kind of like. I like this new gold packaging. It's really pretty. And the shade is beautiful. It's like a rosy pink, neutral rosy pink, but these blend out beautifully. I've stated that before. I really like this formula. It's one of the better formulas out there on the market right now, and it just looks really healthy on the skin, and that's why I like these so much. They're kind of overhyped, but they're overhyped for a reason, because they really are nice, and I mean, I love them. I got to try the new Sephora collection gloss. It's just a clear gloss. I don't really know how to like talk about these, especially when they're literally just a clear gloss. It is a very like mid-range type of formula. It's not super thin. It's not thick. It doesn't feel gloopy on the skin. It's just a good medium, normal type of gloss. And the Sephora collection, the brand, is pretty affordable. It's one of the more affordable brands you can find at Sephora. So I would recommend, if you're just looking for something really simple, something you can just toss in your purse, or, you know, just have lying around the house, this is a good one, and it's pretty affordable as well. These two I picked up myself. They're the NYX, what exactly are they called? Shine Loud liquid lipsticks. I have the shade In Charge, and then this brown is the shade Boundary Pusher. The brown is less streaky than the purple. The purple does have a little bit more streakiness, so it has to be applied slightly more thick. But these last pretty long. Like I don't notice them transferring, and if they do transfer, it's very, very little. Like usually I get the like inner ring of my mouth transfers slightly. so they do last a really long time. The gloss, putting it on top doesn't affect how the lipstick transfers, at least not for the first like few hours. I did notice when I wore this like later in the day after having these on for a while, you started noticing like some of the lip product wearing off. But it is quite a unique formula because the gloss doesn't make the liquid, the matte liquid lip, not transfer resistant, which is surprising because I know that's like a huge issue for a lot of people. So if you're the type of person that really loves a gloss and you really just don't want it to transfer when you're eating, or even if you're just kissing someone or like transferring outside your lip line, these are pretty good and they're pretty affordable too. Okay. Lastly, I got a little PR package with some new products from the brand Half Cake Makeup. I've talked about Half Cake Makeup to death. I really, really love them. It's a wonderful brand. They're also very affordable. So they sent over their Get Fluffed line. They sent over 2 of the brow gels in shade 1 and shade 2, and 2 of the brow definers in shade 1 and 2 as well, I believe. Oh, excuse me, 1 and 3. Yeah. So brow definers are great. I think they're more of a stiff formula, which honestly I prefer a little bit better. They also have like a good triangular tip on them, which makes it really easy to create a little bit more like structure to your brow. And also for me, in the front of my brows, I can do those like brow strokes. So I'll show you what it looks like. So that's probably the best I'm gonna be able to show you guys. But yeah, really easy to use. I really like the shade 1. It's a little bit more cool toned than shade 3. And then they have a spoolie at the end of each one. Love the packaging. They do packaging so well. They do their names so well. They pick out names for everything. Like, the aesthetic of the brand is super cute and I'm all for it. What really blew me away was this brow gel. Do not sleep on this brow gel. This is so stinking good. I was using the shade 1, which is their clear brow gel. This stuff is a very stiff, waxy brow gel with a really phenomenal hold. I have a highlights under Half Caked on my Instagram. If you want to check it out, I saved my stories. I have them highlighted, so like you can go back and check what the heck I'm talking about. So this is the Get Fluffed Brow Gel. I have the worst time finding brow gels that give me that fluffy brow look. Either they're too like crunchy and stiff and they don't do anything with holding the brow hairs up. This holds it up. It is not a brow lamination gel. It will not give you the laminated brow look. It gives you that fluffy brow effect. The natural, fluffy, effortless brows that most of us try to have every single day. This gives that to me. I have really long brow hairs and the root is really deep. So they literally only stay like in one direction, which is the growth in which it comes out of my skin. So it's really hard for me to push my brows in any other direction than the way they're growing out. This works. First off, it literally lets me push my brow hairs up to give that feathered, fluffy effect, and I'm all for it. It's super affordable. Highly recommend if you are a brow person and you want the feathered brows to check out the gel. 10 out of 10 recommend. Love that stuff. So freaking good. It's so good. And then the newest launch they came out with were their In Sync liquid blushes. I don't think this brand can do blushes wrong in any way. I am like a huge blush fan. I love most formulas that I try. There have been a few that I've come across that just aren't my favorite, but all the formulas that this brand has come out with, I'm a fan of. I love them. They have a powder, a cream, Their powder is in Bloom blushes. Their cream is the candy paints. They also have bronzer versions of the candy paints, so they're just in like a cream, like heart-shaped compact. And now they have these In Sync blushes, the liquid blush. I'm dead. This is like one of those products that are just gonna go in the casket with me when I get buried, for sure. Like that's what's gonna happen. I literally love these so much. They're so good. The colors, phenomenal. The names, phenomenal. The formula is so good. They're really good specifically for people who have very oily skin, who maybe the candy paints just aren't the best option for you because they don't set down, the candy paints, and they stay looking dewy. This gives you that like dewy cream and liquid blush that everybody wants, but it's really difficult for people with very oily skin to achieve, to be able to use because of their oily skin. So these blushes really make it a lot easier. They don't dry down matte. They stay very natural on the skin, but not tacky. Like the candy paint stays like a dewy tacky, like your hair can stick to it. This does not. You just gotta try them. This brand is affordable. Pick your favorite color. They all look beautiful, and just go from there. You're not going to regret it. So let me swatch some of these. Swatch. Obviously, when you put these on your face, they're going to be like sheared out, and they shear out really well. Obviously, if you want more like opaque of a color, you can build it up, and it builds up just fine. Okay, so from the bottom, or I'll do from the top to the bottom. So this like top baby pink shade is More Baby. The next one down is No Strings Attached. Then we have New Classic. This one is Brown Sugar. And then the one on the bottom is Delicate Dew. So you have 5 beautiful shades to choose from. Obviously, they're gonna sheer out quite a bit. They're not going to be this like poppy on the skin. You could make them a little bit more poppy if you want. They're a really good formula. Even if you're just thinking about it, these are really affordable. It's not like you're buying these and they're $35 for one of them. They're like, I think they're like $8. I mean, 10 at the most. But like liquid and cream blushes are in. If you're even considering just one shade just to try this out, I highly recommend it. Really good, and they're a really good liquid blush formula. It gives you that natural skin glow that everybody wants from a liquid and cream blush, except they don't stay tacky on the skin like the candy paints do. Candy paints are my personal favorite. They're my babies. But I'm really loving these too. So I'm so excited I got to try these. These are all 5 of the shades that they have right now. Go check them out. Pick out which one is your favorite. They're all beautiful on the skin. Yeah. Everything from the last like month and a half that I've gotten to try, really enjoying pretty much everything that I've tried. I don't think there's really like a dud in anything. Maybe like the only dud would be the perfume, and it's not even a dud, it's just like, you know, perfume is very specific to the person. But I do enjoy that like nice undertone it has. So really happy that I'm able to share these with you guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. My life is crazy. So I don't know when I'm going to post this video, but it'll go up eventually. You'll see it eventually. But until then, I thank you guys for sticking around and watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.